Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. One day I was talking with my friend Nancy, and she was saying how she puts a crease in her granddaughter's uniform pants. I was like, well, that's good for you. I'm not trying to do all of that. I feel like I'm pretty accomplished when I get up and I iron my granddaughter's uniform at all. She ain't getting no creases now. That's just not happening. So we laughed about it, and I said my mother would crease the living life out of anything. I mean, everything was crisp and amazing. My mother loved laundry, but laundry skips a generation. And so we laughed about it. And one morning I was ironing the uniform, and I was like, I'm going to go ahead and see what happens. I'm going to put that in there. And I did. It kind of stayed, but it didn't really, because Elena's rough and tough and with her Afro puffs, so it didn't stay. So I was laughing, telling Nancy, I said, "You got me up ironing creases in pants. Now you need to just stop it." Well, the next day I saw her, and she handed me a bag, and in it there were 2 cans of starch, spray starch, for ironing. I was like, you know what? You done gone way too far. I was so grateful. I was so thankful for it. So I looked at that can and I was like, oh, here we go. Sprayed it on and ironed that crease in those pants. And I could smell my mother in the house. I could see her standing over the ironing board after a long day's work, making sure our clothes were crisp and nice. Our clothes that were secondhand when we first got them and fifth hand by the time I got them because they were passed down from my brothers and sisters. But she laundered those things so nicely that she made them new. I told Nancy, I said, thank you. My mother is in my sewing room, just crisping things up so nicely. We laughed and talked and shared that moment. What a gift. The irony of cleaning the filter of your life, because the smell of starch was not always a pleasant smell. My mother standing at that ironing board was not always a happy sight. Those memories of my mother's abuse were not always good, but she transformed, and so did I. Our bodies have over 30 billion nerve endings, and each one of them has its own brain, its own memory. And this self, the mind as we call it, is not just residing in our brain, it resides in all of those nerve endings. Every hair on your head has its own individual blood supply. To live through this life, to take care of this self, sometimes there is some processing that needs to be done. And the beautiful irony of all of that is that we need one another to do it. I needed to stop and get to know Nancy and learn from her so that she could share that thing with me that I needed so much that I didn't even know that I needed. To clean our filters, those moments and times when there were these negative experiences, we need one another. The differences are the things that not only make our life beautiful and intelligent and creative and productive. I find my style rubbing against the style of someone else. I find my morning meditation in that ironing now, and I understand my mother when she said, one day you're going to see. Connecting in meaningful ways doesn't take long. My exchange with Nancy in the morning is about 5 minutes long. But in that exchange, I'm giving back the gift of a clean filter, and I can go forward one more day. Don't forsake to come together in love, babies. It doesn't even have to be in person. Sometimes it's a phone call, sometimes it's a memory, sometimes it's a book, a piece of music. We're going to get there when each of us remember that we don't have a soul. We are one. I love you.